a Strudel Brothers production. Welcome back to Ohio Tabletop Gamers. So today, a little bit different. So I was digging around all my models I have in different boxes underneath tables and whatnot, just going through trying to find models that I don't really use, never really painted, don't plan on ever using. And it came to my attention pretty quickly that I have a whole lot of HDF style models all over the place. Some of them painted, some of them not. And I had to make a decision what I was going to do with all these extra models, because I can't possibly use all of these. From years gone by, I print some, buy some, whatever, put things together thinking I'm going to use them and just never did. And if you play tabletop war games long enough, you probably ended up with a huge collection of models yourself. So I went through them and I took the ones that I was going to just get rid of, put them to the side. Then I had ones that just, I couldn't bear myself to part with them. So what do? So I decided to make 4 different armies with the HDF, all with different play styles. And I thought I would share them with you off and on. So this is the first one. But before I begin, I want to let you know that I do not recommend any of these armies for competitive or even very much a narrative play, because these are just me having models around and just using them because I wanted to use the models, not necessarily building an army list that is really good. So just a little disclaimer on that. These are more of, hey, I have this model, where can I put it? How do I fit this in? This is not really a good list per se. It's just throwing models in and hoping it works. So this is the first out of 4. This is my HDF Armored Company, where I just found all the tanks that I wanted to keep and thought, you know what, let's put them all in one big armored company. Now, I did have a lot of other tanks that were not painted or broken from sitting in a box too long, halfway built. Some of the pieces I couldn't even find anymore. But these are the ones that I just needed to keep. I really like the Victoria Miniatures Matilda tanks, which in the picture there you can see 3 of them. They're the ones on the left. And I really do like the Marcher Empires at War models. And that is the tank on the far right hand side. Love that model. I just could not part with it, so I put it in the list also. So that's where we're going to begin, actually, is the tank on the far right of the picture there, the one from Marcher's Empire at War. That is going to be my tank commander. So you can see here, quality 4, defense 2, tough 15. The way I have it set up, it's 615 points. So you can see I have it armed with a parental machine gun, twin heavy machine gun, carrying the anti-tank cannon for the Deadly 6. I went ahead and put the Hunter missiles on it because I had extra points. I went ahead and put the Dozer blade for the Strider, the camouflage netting for the Stealth. And as for the command auras, I really don't care for any of them. It was so bad that I almost decided not to take a tank commander in the list at all, but for fluff, I thought that we needed to have a tank commander, so I chose Coordinate. And those of you that don't know Coordinate, so basically after you activate and you're done activating with your unit, you can find a unit within 12 inches, and that unit can activate immediately. So technically with this, you can get 2 units to activate at the same time. So it's pretty cool, and I've used it before, not with tanks though, but It's pretty cool. I don't know how extremely useful it is because I didn't have like great results with it, but I do understand it. It's okay. But given the rapid advance aura that you can have with the tank commander or the entrenched buff, I think they're both absolutely horrible auras, and the coordinate is kinda okay-ish. It's about middle. So I really hope OPR decides to give the tank commander a little bit better. I do understand why OPR decided to take away the precision shooter, because everybody was just running tank commanders with precision shooter and putting it on their tank commander. Personally, I think that OPR should have just changed the wording in precision shooter to where you couldn't affect yourself with that command. It had to be a different unit, and that would have fixed it, because precision shooter is really good. And to have a tank commander that cannot give precision shooter to anyone entrenched, I have no idea what in the world you would use the entrenched buff for with a tank commander. The rapid advance buff is okay. The coordinate again is kind of middle ground. I don't like any of these. I hope they change them with a rules update in September. Otherwise, you really have a hard time trying to figure out why running a tank commander, except for fluff, and that's why I'm running it. So there is my tank commander. So sitting next to the tank commander, you'll see 3 Matilda battle tanks. Quality 4, defense 2, tough 12. The first battle tank is armed with a battle cannon, which gives me the blast, AP2 blast, which is awesome. Also has the heavy machine gun, twin heavy machine gun, hunter missiles. It has the camouflage netting with stealth, has the dozer blade for Strider. So pretty much the same setup as the company leader, to give it as much maximum firepower, speed, and stealth as possible. And this, as I've said before, gives me a blast weapon on the field. So very good. That AP2 blast is no joke. It's really good. For my next 2 battle tanks, they are armed exactly the same way. They both have the heavy HE autocannon, heavy machine gun, twin heavy machine gun, hunter missiles, the stealth, and the Strider. Now, just again, my little rant on the HE autocannon. I have no idea why it got nerfed. Please, OPR, bring back the real autocannon with the AP2. The HE autocannon is garbage. Having to roll 6s for this. This is just basically a heavy machine gun. And quite frankly, you could just run a heavy machine gun, to get the AP1. Because with the HE autocannon, you have to roll a 6 for it to be anything other than just a heavy machine gun. So I'm not a big fan of it, but the reason why I armed them with this is mostly because I want my opponent to be able, to be rolling a lot. So 6 attacks, even if it is AP1, with the possibility of a little bit more if I roll a 6, is good. Along with the other machine guns on this tank, I want to be able to have the ability to make my opponent roll a lot of dice. Because you roll a lot of dice, you will fail a lot of dice. So that's the reason why I armed these 2 with the HE autocannons along with all the machine guns, so I can make him or her, whatever, roll a lot and hopefully roll bad. So anyway, those are my tanks for my armored company. And so sitting in front of the tanks are 2 armored trucks. Quality 4, defense 2, tough 6. Very basic. In fact, you can see just how basic this is. It's a Transport 11, has the Scout to it, and it's only armed with the Parental machine gun. The reason for this is because if you can see the models, they only have a machine gun. They don't have anything else on there, so I just left it as is. It's Transport 11 is what I'm using it for, also with the Scout. So those are my 2 armored trucks. Inside those armored trucks, I have Units of recruits. Yes, recruits. As basic as you can get. Now, originally, I did have infantry. Not really buffed up, but just to make it a little bit better. But I realized that I needed to have more activations. I didn't have hardly any activations in this list. So I needed to find more units to put in the list. So it comes to this now. So yes, the unit that I absolutely cannot stand. I have 4 units of grunt robots. I really don't like this unit at all. I think they're absolute garbage, but I can put 4 of them in and it rounds out my list pretty good. Gave me 4 extra activations when I dropped the infantry, made them recruits, then put 4 grunt robot units in. It rounded out. I need those activations. Plus, don't get me wrong, I really love the models that I have for them. I really like these models. I've had them for a while. It's the rules that I can't stand. I like the idea of the grunt robots. I think it's cool. It's just the rules are really, well, bad in my opinion. It's just my opinion. But there they are. 4 units of grunt robots. The unit that is my least favorite out of the whole HDF is in this list right here. So hooray for the grunt robots, right? So that gave me 4 extra activations for the list. So that really is going to help because I needed the extra activations. So there it is, my HDF Armored Company. It probably isn't the best way to run an armored company. I hardly ever run armored companies, but I really love the tanks, and so I have to use them sometime. They've been sitting around doing nothing for so long. So now I actually have a 2,995 point list of armored HDF. So reason why it's 2,995, if you watched our early videos on this channel, our group normally plays at 3,000 points. When we started doing the videos, we decided that maybe we should bring it down to the 2,000 kind of standard OPR. After doing that for a while, we realized that we really like to go back to the 3,000 points. So more than likely, you're going to see a lot more of the 3,000 plus point games. We're going to kind of get away from the 2,000 point games. Now, we'll still do them on occasion, especially if we're doing competitive. But for the narrative games and different stuff like that, we're going to bump it back up to where we always were before at the 3,000 point limit. So that's why it's, up there to the 3,000 points, if you're wondering, yes. Now, this is just the first of the 4. I've already got the list made up, models separated. So I just thought I'd share it with you guys. The list is okay-ish, I guess. Who knows? Maybe I can win some games with this list. I'm not like I said before, I'm not really big on running a lot of armor, so this is really going to be out of my wheelhouse. This is more of a Gunter style way of playing. I'm more of an infantry, hordes of infantry, different ways of running infantry. I really like the infantry, by the way, if you didn't notice. But I did get these tanks over the years, and I think they're cool, and every time I think about putting tanks in, I don't know. It's just not my style, I guess. I always tend to want to hold back with them, even though I know I shouldn't. Inevitably, it does throw me off my game of my style of play. So we will see how this goes for me. Again, I know you're probably, those of you that play HDF a lot, are probably cringing at this list. And probably going to cringe at the other ones. But remember, this isn't a list that I would play competitive. I do already have that list. This isn't a list that I would normally use HDF with. I already have those lists. These lists here are basically so I can rotate some of my models that I never get to use and put them into some type of organized unit that has its own box I printed out the rule sheets for them, stuck it in the box with it. That way I can take the box out. There's my list. Let's play. So no, it's not necessarily the best way to run them, but it does give me a chance to get all my models on the field. That was the whole point of this, and hopefully encourage me to get these boxes out and play them more instead of being in a bunch of boxes underneath the table, getting broken and forgotten about. So anyway, I guess I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed me going over this little faction here, this little army. Again, let's just see how it goes. I'm gonna be putting it on the field here soon, and you'll be able to see if it is a complete flop, or maybe, hey, you never know, maybe it will work. And hopefully the other 3 that I have will do good also, hopefully. So I can't wait to share them all with you guys. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you all that are subscribing to the channel, making comments down below. If you have any comments about this list, you put them down below. I'm sure that some of you are cringing at this type of list, but please do also remember that this is just to use old models and that they don't just sit in a box and rot away. So again, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe and make comments. We really do appreciate the support for our new channel here. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you a good night. I hope you all have many more happy games ahead of you. I wish the best for you and your family. Take care.